So, how many of you have seen the CNG buses that the Enugu State Governor has purchased and they have arrived in Enugu State? How many of you have seen it? Just in case you haven't seen it, hope you are watching what I'm seeing here. Hope you're seeing it. I mean, come on. Come on. Do you really still doubt this governor? Do you still doubt him? Well, there's absolutely nothing anymore anyone can say because there's nothing he has said that he hasn't done. I don't know what apart from the water situation, which is also still under construction. Yeah, we still have issues with the water, which he has explained that the things that he thought that the pipes were still okay. And then he came in and then he saw that he needed to remove all the pipes, to change all the pipes. I know when he came in the first 3 months of his administration, Enugu was just, was like there was a construction. It was like they are rebuilding Enugu everywhere where we have people digging one thing or the other, removing pipes and replacing the pipes. The ones that have been destroyed, that have been there for donkey years, he had to remove and replace them. And so it happens that it took more than 180 days, truth be told. And he came out and said, look, those things had to happen in order for us to have this reticulation done. Now, it's not like the water is not available. Let's be clear. There is humongous amount of water that is going to be enough for the entire Enugu to be okay. But it's stuck. It cannot be released because those pipes have not been worked on. There was a time that the water was released and we had wastages. People started calling from different parts of the state that there's pipe busting in their area, that's pipe has just been busted, and then there are issues, in their location. So that's forgiving. One of the things that he has said that he would do, well, you wouldn't necessarily say he hasn't done, but it is still on the works. All right. So let's get back to this transport thing. Like I mentioned, the transport thing is also something that a lot of people are looking out for to be sure that it's going to really work. I had done a video earlier before about the fact that the ban of buses and keke are imminent. And this is the reason why. These buses are here. You don't necessarily need some of these buses and keke to be applied on our road. And now it's not like they are banning it completely. They're just restricting it to certain areas. We have the 3 different local government areas, or the four different local government areas that make up the city center, right, which is the Enugu North, Enugu South, Enugu East. And these buses will be restricted in certain locations. So it's not like they're totally banned, they're totally out of business, or totally out of jobs. And by the way, for those who are saying that, they're going to be, that there'll be no jobs anymore, those people can be co-opted into the driving the buses. That's the CNG long buses. Those people can be co-opted into it. The people who also are very good with administrative duties can also be co-opted into it. Yes, there will be jobs that will be lost, but again, there will be others that will be gained. So it's not like, and then they will have sanity within the metropolis. So it's not like, they are moving people away from the city center and they're restricting them to some certain areas, and then those of them who have jobs linking the town and the suburbs will not be out of jobs. No, the buses will take care of those things. And those, can you see those beautiful CNG buses? Have you seen the interior? Have you seen how well equipped those buses are? Come on. I mean, if you haven't commended him at least for once, if not for anything. Let's even say he's taking the template of Sullivan. Well, if somebody is successful and you use his template to build certain things and to make life better for people, why not? And the transportation prices is actually about to crash. Yes, it's not going to be very as expensive as what it is right now. Remember, the governor says it's going to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy. Though we could say that it's coming a little bit late, but better late than never. Better late than never. All right. All right, guys. So for those who missed out on the video I did earlier, here is it. I'll talk to you on the next one. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. So go straight into it. Enugu State is looking to restrict movement of minibuses and kekes that's plying the metropolitan, and it's clear what the government is trying to do. I'll explain that a little later, but let's just give you the breakdown of everything that you need to know, especially as it concerns the ban of keke and mini buses in Enugu State. Starting March 30, that's in about a few days from now, the Enugu State government plans to ban keke, tricycles and mini buses from operating within the metropolitan area, with kekes restricted to smaller streets and mini buses serving rural areas. The implementation of the ban on kekes and mini buses will take effect from March 30, like I mentioned. The alternative route will be keke will be allowed to operate on smaller streets, while minibuses will be restricted to rural routes. All right, rural routes, of course, you know, recently the governor designated certain places as urban areas, and so with that designation, you are looking at rural areas, you know, where these minibuses and kekes will be operating. So it's not like a total ban, you know, on keke and minibuses. Of course, the reasons why this is happening because the government is already providing alternatives. The bus rapid transit system, the BRT buses, will begin operation from April. And so because of that, they're looking to restrict some of these movement of keke and minibuses. And when it also begins, secondary school students will receive free fares. Tertiary students will have their fares subsidized. If you are not following this channel, you must, of course, may have seen some of the display of several bus terminals that have been established by this current administration. Two of them are actually 100% complete, some 98%. Gariki, Abapa, Obete, and of course Nsukka. These are the 4 bus terminals, and because of that, there are BRT buses, CNG enabled, that are coming into the state, and there are also mini vehicles as well that will be clearly subsidized. It's not going to be as exorbitant as we already have. We know that government right now doesn't have a hold over transportation in Enugu State. Private people just get into the street, you know, carry people, keke, what do they call it now, mini buses, and even vehicles, you know, just get on board, do a Bolt, do Uber. I mean, they're just all over the place, and they extort Enugu residents using high fuel tariff, you know, in the country as a reason to actually do that. But when government is involved, government can say, you know what, if from Nsukka to Enugu State to Enugu town is 4,000 naira, I mean, it could decide to say it's 1,500. That's what that BRT buses would do. If you're moving from Ozala to the Enugu town, if it is 1,500, the government can say we're taking 500 naira. So that is the government that wants to have a hold on transportation so that people don't get extorted. People have complained severally about how high and exorbitant the prices of things are, especially as it concerns transportation, moving from one place to another, especially Enugu workers. I mean, minimum wage is 80,000 naira in the States. All right. Transportation takes more than half of it for most people who go to work. So these complaints have continued, you know, unabated. And then the government is saying, look, we just have to have a hold of this by getting our BRT buses, by getting our other mini small cab, you know, cars around town. And the only way we can actually have a hold of transportation and say this is what we want to do. So whoever that wants to operate in that space can operate in their own milieu, you know. You don't want to operate in a business where government is involved. But however it is, it's a welcome development having BRT buses, which will be cheaper. I hear that it will be AC enabled, CNG, like it is perfect, just like what we see in big cities like Johannesburg, South Africa, or even Lagos, Nigeria, and in other cities, even in the United Kingdom as well. So it's a welcome development, and of course, it's also part of the security concerns that were raised. The ban is likely to be a response to security concerns, as evidenced by previous security meetings and bans on similar vehicles in specific areas. The Enugu State government has previously taken actions to address security issues, including dissolving commercial tricycle task forces and banning the operation of tricycles and motorcycles, tipper trucks in certain local government areas. So this is not the first time. In 2023, I think Uguay also did the same thing by banning those guys, because at some point they were really causing nuisance. But again, I've seen reactions, interesting reactions. I mean, sometimes when I see stories like this, I always want to see the reaction of people. And some of them raise a bit of concern, but I've got something I'm actually going to address the concerns, all right? Tommy Best Kitchen says, so what happened to people who depend on keke and minibus for their daily life to survive? Tilda Sophie says, so I should be trekking to New Haven Market. What will now happen to my keke guys? Okay, good point. Smaller roads, please give me an example of smaller roads. Manuel Emperor says, honestly, we don't need this yet. I don't understand how our leaders, they barely think about the poor and average citizens. All right, those are some of the concerns that I have gotten. All right, Noella also says, so I know good the enter drop go where I want go again. Make I go the rub heat, the smell armpits inside on a BRT. Okay, this is something that I'm actually going to address. But by the way, the BRT are AC enabled. They are not your normal BRT buses that are like Mulwe. No, everybody would sit down. You'll be given a ticket. Like I really don't know if you know what the governor is planning to do. When you see the BRT buses, it's going to be a flex to get into the bus. It's not going to be like, I beg, now what's in everybody to take? No, it's going to be a flex to get into it. All right. So on that reactions, Akuago says this doesn't make brain at all. BRT can't go anywhere. Enugu roads are tiny for BRT. The population of Enugu has increased as well as urbanization in the outskirts areas. Good point. Dr. Vivadara says, okay, I understand banning keke, but minibus, why? Enugu is not up there yet for this sort of arrangements. All right. Points have been made. Fabrisco Buyogo says, so why keke guys does deliver? So my keke guy does deliver for me. There are some keke that does school runs and literally run errands for people. That happens to them. What happens to them? Maybe let's say this is serious. Tono Dinkim says hunger go increase. All right. Eagle 70 says it's not gonna be easy, but it will bring sanity within the metropolitan. I only feel pity for the students if they fail to subsidize transportation for them. These taxi people no get human conscience. So, okay, good point. Enugu is feeling what Lagosians felt during Fashona's regime. It wasn't easy at first. Before you know it, everyone adjusted and so many changes done. What was really beneficial. Let's hope that the end result favors majority, because for sure it can't favor everyone. Unique is the one writing this. Angel Chimusi says, I just hope this is a joke. Okay. Miller says, mixed feelings, but I like the idea of kekes not operating on major roads anymore. Lulu J201 says, like it's too early for this, and if you want to bring out BRT buses, you don't need to ban mini bus or keke, because if the BRT bus are okay, people will definitely use them than other ones. Okay, good point. These keke people don't do. Make them go rest. Guike says, Enugu people don't need this. Miss K is the one speaking. Machi says, this one no possible. So you want this city to become habitants of kidnappers, stealing and all, because the moment these people don't have anything doing, they resort to crime. Make this government reason this thing. And official Subto 1 says, welcome developments. Also Obasi says, a good way to start. All right, some other developments. Blessed Prince Cosmetics says, hope Uzo Dimbe. Hope you are seeing what they are doing in Enugu. Emile OJB says, BRT buses on those tiny roads. So my keke guy does, okay, I think I've taken this before. I told my mom this was going to happen 2 weeks ago. So it goes, okay, so I don't understand. So what will people be using before the BRT buses start operating? HR to go down, this one says. So the other very interesting reactions, God Abego, Enugu is not ready for this development yet. Okay, interesting reactions. Okay, so let me give you guys a little bit of background about this development. Now, I don't know if you have somehow visited other cities. At least I've been to some African countries and visited, their city centers. And sometimes some of these decisions are taken with the mind of protecting the citizens. And whenever news items like this, I always say, whenever news items like this are put out, try as much as you can to have an open mind about it. Not because of the effect of it on you or the effect of it on another person, but think about it on the overall interest of the people, because that's what government is about. That's what governance is about. I lived in Abuja for a long time, and for that period I lived in Abuja, bikes ply, Wusetu, Garikitu, everywhere. They go to Apo, like they are littered everywhere. And then they mold this idea of, oh, they want to ban bikes, and protest happened. It's not possible. This guy, people cannot move, people cannot run, people cannot survive. It's not possible. This thing continued on and on. At some point, the government had to restrict, stop, didn't implement it at the time it's supposed to implement it, moved it further, until eventually they said, no, if we really need sanity in the city of Abuja, we would have to do this. While this was on, the bike guys were the architect of more than 70% of the accidents that happened in the Federal Capital Territory at the time. They were the architect of more than 85% of the crimes that happened in Abuja at the time. This was statistics. I'm not quoting. Go, if you like, go back and check. Just do a Google search. And there was no way they would have brought sanity to the roads of Abuja without banning those guys, including those minibuses at the time. They had to let them go. And they said they would only operate in the suburbs, and for crying out loud, everybody adjusted. The city is better for it. And do you know that after 3 months of the banning of bikes within the metropolis, accidents dropped by more than 80%. Accidents dropped by more than 80%. Crime rates dropped by more than 60%. That's Abuja that year. We're coming down to Enugu State. I don't know if you saw recently where Enugu State Transport Company brought out a flyer asking people to come and enroll for being a driver for BRT, and driver for minibuses, and driver for cabs. I don't know if you saw that. It was a massive transport opportunity. People are going to man that complex, that huge complex in Ogbete. People are going to man that huge complex in Ababa. People are going to man those huge complexes in Gariki. People are going to man the same thing in Nsukka. There were massive job opportunities released by the Enugu State Transport Company, asking people, if you know you can drive, if you know how to drive, come and enroll. Remember that the government pays minimum wage of 85,000 naira, and of course you know that when they're employing you, they're not employing you as just a mere driver. You are a staff of the government of Enugu State. You are paid something more. And because of course you are a driver, you probably may have had experiences. Maybe you don't have education that much, but there's a level they will put you. If they're not going to pay you anything less than 100,000, the way and manner it's structured, based on your experience, based on your qualification and all whatnot. So those people who are driving keke, those people who are driving minibuses can easily transition into driving, either the BRT buses or the cab that they are bringing in Enugu State. Yes, these things are done everywhere for the larger number of people who want to be seen within the Enugu metropolis. Now, movement from one place to another is very, very difficult. I don't know if you have tried to use keke to move from one place to another. I don't know if you have tried to use keke from one place to another. It depending on the distance. It's killing. It's killing. These BRT buses are going to come and crash prices of transportation from one place to another, and that's the truth. They are going to crash the prices of transportation in Enugu. The cars that are coming, the mini cars that are coming, the buses that are coming are going to crash the prices. Secondary school students, the students that pay heavily and trek for long distances will be entering the buses for free. You can imagine secondary school students, primary school students, if at all they move from, they are going to be getting that for free. It's not done anywhere. And I hear somebody talk about, I'm not going to sit where somebody's armpit to be smelling. Are you kidding me? Have you seen the BRT buses? Hey, God. It's not your normal BRT buses you see or like Ojuelegba in Lagos or one of those places. It's not though. We're talking about serious buses that are digital. It's not any how this. I don't know if you have noticed that this governor has some tastes. If he wants to do something, he goes all out and does it. He has a specific taste for something, and if it's not the quality, if it's not the best, take a look at people who are around him. That's how you know the kind of governor he is. He doesn't go for anything lower or lesser or something that they can manage. Let's just try and see. If he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it. He's not going to let's give it a try. No, he goes out for the best. So calm down, let that bus come. And when the bus comes, it is you that will say, in fact, it will be a flex. I keep saying it will be a flex to be in BRT bus in Enugu, to be a flex. And transportation would drop drastically. The other day, I don't know what it was. I didn't want to drive my vehicle to where I was going. I was shocked at the amount that the keke told me that was the price. From this place from one location to another location, I was hearing 5,000 within Enugu. 5,000. Now. So, by and large, we should allow this to simmer down. Now, it's not an outright ban. Remember, minibuses and keke would operate in the suburban areas. It's not an outright ban. Like from Nike, for instance, of course, you could have buses run minibuses and maybe keke run that axis. Ababa axis down all the way to Nike or Google and the likes. I mean, those places, we know that things are actually going to and these things are going to be in phases. All right, it's going to be in phases. And you know that the local government in Enugu State, which are township, are four of them. The Enugu North, Enugu South, Enugu East, Enugu West. But the inner roads are the ones I'm talking about. But see the metropolitan, the Enugu North, Enugu East, you know those places. At least for the first phase, they will do it in phases as people tend to adjust. The policy is not in any way to make people feel bad about the fact that they are going to be paying more for transportation or that they're going to miss their keke. You see, sometimes if you're not giving a new leaf, you wouldn't know that it's actually better to it's actually better what they're offering you than where you are. Everybody's comfortable with keke now. It's cheap. You just enter from here to here and I come down. But if you're not giving an alternative that is better, you think where you are is actually better. And by the way, Peter Mba is not your typical politician who wants to say one thing and do another thing, or maybe say they are bringing a BRT bus to be a refurbished vehicle or a vehicle that doesn't meet standard. He's not that kind of guy, and he's not the kind of guy who would commission his people to do something and they go and do a substandard something. You will be torn apart. He's that kind of person who is mad about getting things done and getting it done to the best of his ability. So this is not in any way trying to rub his head or maybe trying to praise him, but it's something I have seen, I've touched, I've felt it. I have told you, I did a Twitter space conversation with him, and questions I asked him, and the way he answered them, and the way he has moved with his implementation of some of the policies that he has mentioned that he would do is something unprecedented. Remember, he also said it while he was doing his campaign. He said he opened up and told what he's doing today in transportation is what he promised he was going to do. Do you people even remember what he said during his campaign period? Do you remember what he said? Did you know that he said he was going to bring in rails into Enugu? Did you guys remember that? Did you remember that he said he was going to do Enugu Air? Even though that was on his manifesto, but he added it because he thought that Enugu is opening up for business, for people to, you know, get into Enugu State. You just have to not only use roads, you just have to use flight. So an Enugu Air would be a fantastic opportunity for to having people coming anytime from anywhere around the country to come and see what's happening in Enugu State. So that is also coming up. So this one is just testing waters. It's just testing waters. And somehow we would have some sanity within the Enugu metropolis. So all these questions that have been asked, I hope that I've been able to touch a few of them on some of the reactions. The transportation will be reduced. For those who are saying that things will get higher, the transportation will get higher. No, the numbers will be reduced, and it's not an outright ban. It's for suburbs, you know, places where it's difficult to reach. You know, you can take keke rather, you know, to your homes and to inner towns and inner roads. So that's exactly what this is about. And I just thought I should even explain and express myself in this direction. So we're good with what we're doing. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate. Click on the like button and of course subscribe to the channel. Thank you.